So in this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the Litespeed Cache general settings that you can apply to your WordPress website to help speed up your page load time. And we're not going to get too crazy with it. I mean, even without knowing how to code or anything like that, you should be able to follow along with this video so long as you have Litespeed Cache installed on your website. And if you're wanting to use Litespeed Cache, it has to be a server. Your website has to be on a server that supports Litespeed Cache. So as long as you have that set up, then you can just follow along with this video and improve the load speed of your website pretty significantly. So when you have your Litespeed Cache installed on your WordPress website, you should see these Litespeed options here. We're going to run through a couple of these major ones. But before we do that, I recommend that you first test the speed of your site. So if you come to GT Metrics, you can scan your website, just put the URL in, and you can do a free scan. And the main thing you're looking for is this largest contentful paint number right here. And you can see without any of the Litespeed settings on, it's loading in about 6.6 seconds, which is pretty slow. I mean, ultimately, you want it around 3 or 4 seconds, somewhere in that range. So now that we have a baseline of where the speed of the site is currently, we can go through and optimize some of these settings and then rerun that test and see where it is from there. So starting in this cache tab here, this first tab, these should all be on by default, and we can just leave all those on, and then we're going to come over here to object cache, this object number 6 here, and we're going to turn on object cache, and then go ahead and save that setting. And each time you activate a new setting within Litespeed, I recommend that you just come to the front end of your site, hover over this Litespeed symbol, and click Purge Cache, and then just check to make sure that your website is still loading properly. If something looks screwed up, then you can just disable that setting and move on to the next one from there. Because some of these do substantially change the way your website loads, and it can cause some issues. So everything looks fine. We'll leave object cache enabled there, and then we'll come to this next one, browser, and we're going to activate the browser cache here. So we'll turn that on, click Save Changes, and that's going to be it for this first tab. From there, the next big one is page optimization. So we'll click on that tab, and there's a couple here that we want to activate. So we want a CSS minify, we'll turn that on. CSS combine, we'll turn that on as well. And then we'll turn on unique CSS file. Then go ahead and click Save Changes. And again, you'll want to come over here and just purge the cache and make sure everything is loading properly. It looks like everything still looks good. So then we'll come back through here and we'll go over to the JavaScript settings. And we'll want to minify, do the JavaScript minify, JavaScript combine, and then load JavaScript deferred. And we'll click Save Changes there. And those are the main optimization elements that you want to, there's one more, minify HTML. We'll minify the HTML. And there's one other big one under media settings, and that's lazy load images. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if we turn that on, the way that this website is set up, it's using the Revolution slider. So when we purge the cache and look at how this page loads, you'll notice that this slider looks a little funny. It's not allowing those images to load that are in the slider. And so we'll turn that lazy load images off for now. And then we'll come back and purge the cache, and we'll take a look and see how this page looks. And it should load properly now. Okay, sweet. So now that that's loading correctly, we'll go ahead and rerun this scan and see what the page load time looks like from there. Okay, so I just finished running a new scan on GT Metrics, and you can see that we've got this number all the way down to 4.1 seconds. And when you look, you can see how quickly it's getting to a point where people can actually see what's going on the website. Whereas with this other one, it was taking almost 7 seconds before you could even really see that the website page was loaded. And if it's taking 6 seconds for people to see something happening on the website, they're going to think your website's broken and they're going to hit the back button and leave. So this could use some more work. We could probably reduce some of the image sizes on this website, but at least now we're in a range where, you know, within 3 to 4 seconds, people are starting to see all the images and everything appear, and they're not going to just hit the back button thinking the website's broken and go somewhere else completely. So again, just walk through this video. Make sure each time you turn something on, you just come back and clear the cache. That way you can determine if there is something, like in this case, the lazy load images was screwing up the slider. If you see something that's messing up your website, then you can just turn that feature off and go through, make sure to turn on all these different settings that I went through in this video, and then retest your site on GTmetrix, and you should see that the page load speed drops pretty significantly from there. So I hope you found that helpful. If there's anything you have questions about, just drop them down in the comments below. I'll be sure to get to them there. And until next time, take care.